Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I will demonstrate how to draft the patterns for this lovely A-line dress with puff sleeves. Hi, my name is Ayo and welcome to 011 Clothing Tutorials. On this channel, I upload DIYs, pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. If you haven't subscribed yet, kindly do so and do not forget to turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So now, let's get right into the tutorial. Thank you! I'm working with the following items: tape measure, pens, a pair of paper scissors, calculator, tracing wheel. Ideally, a pencil should be used to draft a pattern, but for tutorial purpose, I'll be using these marker pens, rulers and curves, pattern paper. I'll be working with the following measurements: bust circumference 38 inches, waist circumference 34 inches, hip circumference 43 inches, shoulder to shoulder measurement 16 inches, shoulder to waistline 17 inches, shoulder to hip line 26 inches, shoulder to bust 10.5 inches, bust span 8 inches. So on this pattern paper, which I've already laid out on the table, I have drawn 2 inches margin at the top and on the left hand side of the pattern paper. I will now go ahead and draw a rectangular box that will contain both the front and the back patterns. To know the width of the rectangular box, I will look for the largest circumference between the bust, the waist and the hip circumference measurements. And in this case, it is the hip circumference measurement, which is 43 inches. I will now calculate the hip circumference divided by 2 plus extra 2 inches for ease, and this is 43 inches divided by 2 plus 2 inches, and this is equal to 23.5 inches. I will now go ahead to measure and mark 23.5 inches like this. I will draw a vertical line downwards. As for the length of the rectangular box, the length will be the dress length, which is 47 inches in this case. I will go ahead to measure and mark 47 inches from the upper starting line downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line across, and this is the hem of the dress pattern. Next, I will divide the rectangular box into 2 equal halves vertically like this. This side will be the center back, while this other side will be the center front. Next, I will measure and mark 1 inch downwards for the back shoulder line. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the back shoulder line. I will measure and mark 1.5 inches downwards like this from the upper starting line. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the front shoulder line. Next, I will calculate the armhole depth. I will use the formula bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is 38 divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is equal to 7.8 inches. I will measure and mark 7.8 inches downwards from the back shoulder line. The armhole depth from the upper starting line is 8.8 inches. So on the center front line, I will measure and mark 8.8 inches from the upper starting line downwards. I will draw a horizontal line across, and this line is the armhole line. The shoulder to bust measurement is 10.5 inches. From the upper starting line, on the front pattern, I will measure and mark 10.5 inches downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the bust line. The shoulder to waistline measurement is 17 inches. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 17 inches downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the waistline. The shoulder to hip line measurement is 26 inches. From the upper starting line, I will measure and mark 26 inches downwards like this. I will draw a horizontal line across. This is the hip line. For the back neckline, I will use a value of 3 inches by 1 inch. Using a French curve, I will draw the back neckline curve like this. For the front neckline curve, I will use a value of 3 inches by 3 inches. Using a French curve, I will draw the front neckline curve like this. Next, I will divide the shoulder to shoulder measurement by 2. This is 16 inches divided by 2, and this is equal to 8 inches. On the back shoulder line, I will measure and mark 8 inches starting from the center back. Also, on the front shoulder line, I will measure and mark 8 inches starting from the center front. I will connect these 2 points together like this to give me the slanted shoulder line for the front pattern. I will also connect these 2 points together like this to give me the slanted shoulder line for the back pattern. The shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2 is 8 inches. On the armhole line, I will measure and mark these 8 inches starting from the center back and also the center front. I will connect these points together like this with broken lines. Next, I will calculate the bust circumference plus 1 inch for ease divided by 4. This is 38 plus 1 divided by 4, and this is equal to 9.75 inches. On the armhole line, I will measure and mark 9.75 inches starting from the center back and also the center front. On the back pattern, on the broken line, I will locate and mark the middle point. From the middle point, I will go in by half an inch. I will connect these 2 points together with my ruler like this. I will also connect these 2 lower points together with my French curve like this. On the front pattern, on the broken line, from the armhole line, I will measure and mark 3 inches upwards. From the 3-inch point, I will go in by 3/4 of an inch. I will connect these 2 points together with my ruler like this. I will also connect these 2 lower points together with my French curve like this. Next, I will calculate the waist circumference plus 1 inch for ease divided by 4 plus additional 1 inch for the waist dart. This is 34 plus 1 divided by 4 plus 1 inch for the waist dart, and this is equal to 9.75 inches. On the waistline, I will measure and mark 9.75 inches starting from the center back and also the center front. This is the hip line. I will calculate the hip circumference plus 1 inch for ease divided by 4. This is 43 plus 1 divided by 4, and this is equal to 11 inches. On the hip line, I will measure and mark 11 inches starting from the center back and also the center front. At the hem of the pattern, I will also measure and mark the 11 inches that was calculated for the hips starting from the center back back and also the center front. I will now connect these points together to give me the side seam of the back pattern. I will also connect these points together to give me the side seam of the front pattern. To construct the darts, I need the bust span measurement. I will divide the bust span measurement by 2. This is 8 inches divided by 2 and this is equal to 4 inches. On the front pattern, on the bust line, I will measure and mark 4 inches starting from the center front. On the waistline, I will also measure and mark 4 inches from the center front. On the hip line, I will measure and mark 4 inches from the center front. I will connect the points together with a straight vertical line like this. I will measure and mark half an inch on both sides of the vertical line on the waistline. The dart will end 2 inches above the hip line. I will connect the points together like this to give me the waist dart for the front pattern. On the back pattern, on the armhole line, I will measure and mark 4 inches from the center back. On the waistline, I will measure and mark 4 inches from the center back. On the hip line, I will measure and mark 4 inches from the center back. I will connect the points together with a ruler like this. The waist dart will start 1 inch below the armhole line on the back pattern and it will end 2 inches above the hip line. I will measure and mark half an inch on both sides of the vertical line on the waistline. I will connect the points together like this to give me the waist dart for the back pattern. Next, I will do the center back tightening. From the center back on the waistline, I will measure and mark half an inch. I will add this half an inch back at the side seam at the waistline like this. I will redraw the back side seam. Next, I will locate and mark the middle point between the back neck depth and the armhole line. This is where the center back tightening will start from and it will end 2 inches above the hip line. I will connect the points together with my ruler like this. I will now add a 1 inch zip allowance to the center back of the pattern following the center back tightening line. So now I am done with drafting the basic dress block and this is what it looks like. I will go ahead and cut out the back and the front dress patterns. I will alter the necklines. I will widen the back neck width by half an inch and the back neck depth by 1 inch. I will redraw the back neckline curve like this. This shaded part is no longer part of the pattern. For the front neckline, the neckline will be a V neckline. I want the V-neck line to end 1 inch above the bust line. I will also widen the front neck width by half an inch. I'll connect the 2 points together with a slight curve like this. This shaded part is no longer part of the front pattern. On second thoughts, I will raise this neckline a little bit more. I think it is too deep for me. I will raise it up by 1 inch and I will redraw the front neckline curve like this using a slight curve. I will cut it out. Next, I will draw a vertical line from the end of the waist dart down to the ends of the back and the front patterns. I will now slash the patterns to create an A-line silhouette. The slashing will be done up to the waistline. I will slide the front like this from the hem up to the waistline and then to the side seam, but I will not cut it all the way through at the side seam. I will place another pattern paper underneath the front pattern. I will open up the front pattern like this towards the side seam. I will open it up by 1 inch at this middle part. I will pin it in place. I will now sellotape it in place. At the center front, at the hem, I will measure and mark 1 inch below the hem. Using this curved ruler, I will redraw the hem of the pattern like this. I will cut out the excess pattern paper. I will sellotape this end. I will remove the pins. I will add extra fullness at the side seam at the end. So I will pin the front pattern to this pattern paper like this. I will extend the hem at the side seam by 4 inches. I will connect the 4-inch points to the waistline like this. I will measure and mark half an inch upwards from the hem at the new side seam line. I will curve the hem of the front pattern at the side like this using the ½ inch as a guide. I will cut it out. I will now sellotape it in place. And this is what the front A-line dress pattern looks like. This is the back pattern. I will slash it from the hem to the side seam, but I won't cut it all the way through at the side seam. I will place another pattern paper underneath the back pattern like this. I will open up the back pattern towards the side seam. I will use this opening at the middle part as my guide. I will open it up by 1 inch at this middle part. I will pin it in place. After pinning, now sellotape it in place. I will remove the pins. At the center back, at the hem, I will measure and mark 1 inch below the hem. Using this curved ruler, I will redraw the hem of the back pattern like this. I will trim off the excess paper. I will add extra fullness at the side seam at the hem. So I will pin the back pattern to this extra pattern paper like this at the side seam. I will extend the hem at the side seam by 4 inches. I will connect the 4-inch points to the waistline like this. I will measure and mark half an inch upwards from the hem at the new side seam. I will curve the hem of the back pattern at the side seam using the 0.5 inch as a guide. The shaded part is no longer part of the pattern. I will cut it out. I will sellotape it in place. Next, I will draft the puff sleeve pattern. I will draw a margin of 1 inch at the top and on the left hand side of this pattern paper. We'll be using these measurements to draft the sleeve pattern. Sleeve length 7 inches and the around arm measurement is 12 inches. The sleeve length is 7 inches, so I will measure and mark 7 inches from the upper starting line downwards. I will draw a horizontal line across. Next, I will calculate the cap height value. I will use the formula bust circumference divided by 12 plus 1.5 inches. This is 38 divided by 12 plus 1.5, and this is equal to 4.7 inches. I will measure and mark 4.7 inches downwards from the upper starting line. I will draw a horizontal line across, and this is the cap height line. Next, I will calculate the armhole depth using the formula bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. This is 38 divided by 6 plus 1.5, and this is equal to 7.8 inches. On the cap height line, I will measure and mark 7.8 inches like this. I will connect these 2 points together like this with my ruler. I will divide the line into 4 equal sections. From the first middle point, I will go up by half an inch. From the second middle point, I will come down by half an inch. I will now draw the curve of the sleeve edge using the half an inch points as a guide. Next, I will divide the around arm measurement by 2. This is 12 inches divided by 2, and this is equal to 6 inches. At the hem of the sleeve pattern, I will measure and mark 6 inches like this. I will connect these 2 points together with my ruler like this. I will cut it out. This is a simple basic sleeve pattern. I will alter the basic sleeve pattern into a puff sleeve pattern. I will divide the basic sleeve pattern into 3 equal sections like this. These 3 division lines are the slash lines. I will slash the slash lines. I will number the pieces. I will spread out the sections on a new pattern paper like this. I will open up each of the section by 2 inches each. I will pin them in place. I will raise the sleeve edge by 2 inches and I will redraw the shape of the sleeve edge like this. I will cut out the puff sleeve pattern. I will remove the old pattern pieces from the new one. The puff sleeve pattern will be cut on fold on the fabric. So that's it guys, we are done. These are all the pattern pieces needed to make the dress. Stay tuned for my next tutorial where I will cut and sew these pattern pieces on my fabric. If you find this video helpful, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share this video with your friends who are interested in sewing, and do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. See you in my next tutorial. Bye and thank you so much for watching.